Brain drain as it relates to Africa is a significant issue that hardly gets talked about because we have many other problems. Even though it poses a major threat to our growth and development, the reality of this problem still hasn't dawned on most people in our leadership positions, so they still are not making the right moves to mitigate it. In this video, we're going to take a quick look at some factors that lead to brain drain, the potential devastating effects it can have on our societies, and some solutions that could reverse brain drain in the global African community. Welcome back to the African Wahala, where we have discussions that relate to the progression of Africa and Africans around the world, while breaking down topics of importance, criticizing individuals that hold us back, and commending trailblazers. If you like the content of this work, hit the like and subscribe buttons. Now, brain drain can simply be defined as the emigration of highly skilled and trained individuals from a particular country to another one with better opportunities. Historically, brain drain has happened at different eras of economic and political boom, depending on the circumstances that surround different individuals in various countries, but the bottom line is that brain drain ultimately has a negative effect on any society where the emigration occurs. From a political standpoint, the most common reasons why many skilled individuals decided to emigrate was because they observed their political and military leaders not having the best interest of their countries at heart, as they blatantly pillaged the country's wealth by collaborating with foreigners with the technical know-how to exploit the natural resources for the benefit of the foreigners and the people in leadership positions. A lot of people also decided to emigrate due to the maltreatment of many individuals that decided to openly speak out against the mismanagement of those resources, or against an incapable ruling government, or simply because they dared to condemn their leaders for only considering themselves and their families and friends while disregarding the remaining of the population, which obviously make the majority. The prolonged mismanagement of a country's resources and the selfish interest of the political leaders usually breed a high level of corruption, which trickles down into general society as many people become selfish and will do anything to make money. It also changes the focus of the entire society from quote-unquote nation building to a get-rich-quick mentality among the people, while materialism becomes the order of the day, which ultimately leads to a lack of maintenance culture and infrastructural deterioration. After all, if you can afford to live in a mansion and acquire luxurious products in the midst of poverty, with your security and basic amenities paid for, with access to a hospital in the developed country for an ailment as trivial as a common cold, while still making your money from home, wouldn't that be a great lifestyle? The main problem with this mentality is that the wealth gap becomes too large and thereby increasing unemployment, poverty, and crime. Such societies usually have multiple security challenges that are hard to quell. These new challenges of security and unemployment even leads to more brain drain that traps such countries in a vicious cycle of societal problems, wealth gap, and brain drain. Other countries with better infrastructure take advantage of the entire situation and try to recruit the best available talent in countries where skill sets exists with poor infrastructure side by side, and the lack of basic amenities, which creates the perfect platform for brain drain. Countries like the United States, United Kingdom, Australia, Canada, and other OECD countries have been major beneficiaries of brain drain syndrome from African countries and Caribbean islands. A classic example of the impact of brain drain can be witnessed in Nigeria, where the Medical and Dental Council of Nigeria, that has about 72,000 registered healthcare practitioners, with about half of them working abroad, while the Nigerian Medical Association, which is the largest medical association in West Africa, has about 40,000 members with 19,000 practicing abroad. Now, if you do the math, you have about 1 doctor to 5,000 patients, which is much more lower than the World Health Organization recommendation of 1 doctor to 600 patients. The skill set shortage situation has easily been replicated across different industries in Nigeria and many other African and Caribbean nations, which leads me to make some suggestions to curb the brain drain syndrome in our countries. My first point, which is long overdue, has to do with us, the people, overhauling our leadership positions and replacing the criminals up there with much more reliable individuals that would put their countries and citizens first before their personal pockets. It is going to be a difficult task, without a doubt, but it's something we cannot avoid at this point in history, especially considering the fact that most of our countries have remained at the bottom of the barrel of nations for over half a century when sub-Saharan African countries started gaining independence from colonization. If we are not able to fairly vote these people out of power, then a revolution is bound to occur. If this current natural disaster in coronavirus doesn't get them first. Another step we can take to curb brain drain is to massively reorient our general public on the importance of working together as opposed to being selfish, because being self-centered only leads to an I don't care attitude about everything that doesn't directly affect us, which ultimately leads to our further destruction. The general public has been influenced by the benefit of being in the corrupt leadership positions, which yields a lot of materialistic things to individuals but strips the entire nation of decent opportunities. What do you make of it all? Drop a comment. Let me know what country you're from and what steps can be taken to reduce a mass immigration of skilled people from your country, which leads to brain drain. Thank you for watching. Peace.